Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Chachmo. Welcome to another stream where we shifted from Arsenal being the best team in the world after smashing City to the team is crap and shit, and all they need to be fired, and Arteta needs to be fired, and the players need to be sold, and Odegaard is not good enough, and nobody's good enough. Saliba is average. Ahmed said that yesterday, that Saliba is an average defender. And it's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. The meltdown from a lot of people, to be honest, is absolutely crazy. Sad troops, damn pots, and everyone is like, oh my God, we are so shit. We are shit. You already lost at 2-0 at home. It's just, what were you expecting? And that is the problem. That's the false hope. And I gave Arsenal some hope, to be honest. But I gave them 10%. Husam gave them 5%. And then people are having a meltdown because they didn't go through. What did people expect? Arsenal to go and smash Newcastle at St. James's Park by 5? That didn't happen. But we're here to talk about that. We're here also to talk about Liverpool versus Spurs today and Newcastle respect. I want to touch on Newcastle and how good of a team they are, how good Eddie Howe is, and how they handled Arsenal yesterday, and how a player like Alexander Isak was absolutely phenomenal. Was ridiculous yesterday. This is the 65 million that Arsenal should have spent before they spent it on Kai Havertz. But listen, hit that like button, people. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's get to 100 likes right off the bat. Jessica Black's channel in the description as well. Of course, she knows Arsenal. She's doing her reaction today. The fraud is not here. As you see, his empty box, big empty box. He's not here. He's late. By the way, this is why we're late. I tell you what, the two girls were here 5 minutes before. 5 minutes.
And that's 6 a.m. for us.
6 a.m. for them. They're here 5 minutes before. And the fraud, who is already, it's 5 p.m. at his time, he's not even here. He's not even here. But listen, I'm going to talk about the Man City, of course, versus Arsenal as well. But I'm going to start with Jess. The meltdown warranted or no?
I mean, no. There's regular meltdowns and then there's nuclear meltdowns. And I feel like you're well within your right to be disappointed that it's a very real possibility that we go trophyless again this season. That is very much so staring at us in the post. You know, no Carabao Cup, no FA Cup. What is it? Almost like 6 points or whatever behind Liverpool, and they have a game in hand. And if we can't beat teams like Aston Villa and Newcastle, then we're not going to be able to beat teams in the Champions League when we get to the knockout round. So that's very much so standing right there. And going through a transfer window where you don't bring in anyone and you have massive injuries, yeah, that's very like, I can see why people are panicking about that. The whole team is crap. Everyone's crap. Life is crap. All that kind of stuff. I just feel like those people need to touch grass. You know, it's really, it's not, you can't be beating Man City 5-1 and then going out of a cup you knew you were going to go out of and then having those reactions. But the truth is always somewhere in the middle. And that's probably kind of where I'm at, where I have never felt like we should be so disrespectful about the domestic cups. I feel like it's just a Carabao Cup, but when you haven't won anything in 5 years, those are important. And we threw it away at home, and we actually threw away both cups, I think, within a week.
You didn't throw it away. You played your best team. How throwing it away is that Arteta used to do like 3 years ago.
Or a single goal. You threw it away. I think you were just really bad in both legs.
But
like, can you define throw it away?
Yeah, I'm going to define throwing it away. Not throwing it away in terms of not playing our best teams, but not playing up to our standard. We, as a team, in both legs, well, the Newcastle one is like that. The second leg was whatever. We weren't going to go through. But both legs at home against United and Newcastle, we threw away both of those cups. Not from a standpoint of not playing our best teams, but not being good enough. More than enough chances in both games to do much better than what we did. And so,
oh, look who's here. I would agree with you about the United game. You threw that one away, but you just got beat by Newcastle.
Yeah,
both times. You just flat out got beat. They dominated.
That is a discussion. Like, people criticized Arteta for playing a second fiddle team the last 3-4 years. He played his first team in both legs and against Man United and lost. Yeah, there has to be a different analysis than, oh, why did you play this guy instead of that guy? He played the best 11 he can.
That's not the discussion that I'm having, though. And going back to Cal's point, is it's easy to say after the game at St. James that we just got beat. But if you actually went back and watched the game that we did at home and watched it closely, we missed like wide open goals in that game. Kai Havertz missed quite a few chances in that game. So yeah, we just got beat by a better team. Like, there's no saying like we were this amazing team or anything. We didn't play up to our standards. But the way that we approach domestic cups, whether that's with a rotated side or against like a better side, and we play our best team, is not good enough. It's just not, especially when you're not good enough in the league either. So I understand the frustration, especially the window just closed. Like, it literally just closed. So there's still residual, like, about that. But I don't know if I have the energy to have another meltdown, because it's like this season just has felt very much like a throwaway season for us. And not because like nothing matters or anything, but because we just didn't set up to do well. We don't have a striker. They're still talking about war chests in the summer and keeping powder dry and stuff like that. And nobody wants to hear that. Like, nobody wants to hear that. And so I guarantee we get to the summer and then they're talking about needing to sell to buy after keeping the powder dry for January. And a lot of people were like turning their nose up at Ollie Watkins. And I'm just like, we're not above Ollie Watkins, guys. We are not. I don't know where you guys are in life where you think that we are above Ollie Watkins. We're not. We should have spent the extra 20 million. We should have made sure that we at least ended the season strong. Because guess what? I don't know what you're keeping your powder dry for the summer for. You're not getting Isak, which I know that that's what they're going to do. So you're telling me that you couldn't spend the 60 million on Ollie Watkins? Forget that shit, So yeah, I get the meltdowns, and I think some of them are too far. But the way that we attack or like try to do the domestic cups or cups in general, our approach is not good enough, whether it's the Carabao Cup or Champions League. We just don't play well in games where there's chaos. We don't play well in games. I told Husam this last week, games where there's jeopardy. I agreed with him. We are not good enough.
But you played good against City. This is a very high pressure game.
It wasn't a high pressure game because
the City team.
The City
No, forget City team itself. It's a high pressure game. You lose that game and you basically the season is over at that time.
That game. Go back to a couple weeks ago. That was the Villa game. The Villa game was the game that we could not afford to drop points. This game was not that game. It was the Villa game where we just needed to make sure that we won at home against Villa, and we didn't do it, and we drew. We dropped very important points. I think Liverpool, they ended up winning that game against like Brentford or whoever they played against, but we could have made the gap smaller and the gap got wider. So of course, if we're like 6 points away and, you know, potentially 9 points behind, that's different than when you're like 3 points behind. So I kind of get what you're saying. And yes, there was pressure on the City game and all that kind of stuff. But when there's no option to draw, which is always the way that I determine it, no option to draw, whether that's in the league or in a cup, we don't perform well enough. And I don't know if that's just the players or what, but I just feel like it's a top-down thing.
I think Rodri was a little right about your team then. It's the mentality.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a mentality problem. I don't think anybody thinks that we necessarily don't have a little bit of a soft underbelly when it comes to games that there's a lot on it, you know? I think a lot of us would agree with that, you know?
That comment sure rattled your fan base. And
Yeah.
I guess the players too.
This game is the only game when I started to see what you guys are saying, when Arsenal have a soft underbelly and they crumble or something like this. Because
the game or the United game?
To be honest, me and Jess and Kel were speaking before the show.
Don't ignore what Kel just said.
What did she say? I'm sorry, I was
The
spoken.
United game.
Yeah.
But you need mentality to get over the top on that in that kind of game, because that was a winnable game. You were up 1-0.
Okay.
Against 10
You
men.
lost the penalties.
But I actually think
Against 10
Arsenal
men,
at the
Kel, as
United
well.
game played well. Okay, let's be real. Arsenal played like shit yesterday. If Arsenal have these performances throughout the season, Arsenal will be 7th or 8th. Let's just assume that, right? Arsenal don't play like this normally. It's not only about Havertz yesterday. It was about Saliba not playing well, Rice not playing well, Odegaard dropping stinkers, Martinelli. For that 40 minutes or 35 minutes he played, what was that? You haven't had that bad of a performance even when you were injured last season. Trossard, anonymous. The whole game, anonymous. Trossard. Arsenal haven't played that bad. But
Maybe they were all just hungover from Sunday.
No, I think the tie was already in. I don't know if like just from perspective of actually like if you played sports like at all, if you know that you have a sliver, you play like you have a sliver. They knew that it was done. Like they knew it was done and they played like it. And that's not.
And I assume that they didn't have any. I assume that the pressure was very minimal. Me and Husam had this argument. They already knew the game was over.
Yeah.
They already knew. The players knew. The media ruled them out. The media said you're not going through. So I assumed that Arsenal would go to the game, playing the same game they played against City with even less pressure because you're already out. Husam gave you 5. I am the optimistic one, and Husam is like criticizing me for this. I gave them 10. So I'm sure that the media themselves. I have seen Gary Neville in the first game. You said that we're out.
Yeah.
Like Dan Pot said, we're out. There's no way you come back. I think that City game put some hope in them. But hope, how much hope? How much do you think you're going to go to St. James's Park 2-0 down at home and you're going to go through? So I'm sure the players should have performed better because you're playing, there's no pressure. It should be minimal pressure in this game.
But it wasn't
And
about.
I don't understand what happened.
Are you now going to admit that you were wrong?
About? So tell
The
me
pressure.
about what and I respond.
Okay, the pressure thing. You want to know why? Wait.
No, hold on.
Don't just be wrong and strong. The performance yesterday.
Yeah, Habibi.
The performance yesterday proves that there is actual mental pressure on them. Like they're feeling the pressure as players. The way that they played yesterday, Mo said something at the start, and I was listening to what he said. First of all, to everyone in the chat, I'm not late. Usually we start when it's only us 3. No Nina, we start 2:15. So I came 2 minutes early, actually. But that's beside the point. Back to the topic. This is why I think you're wrong. I'll tell you why. Look, yesterday you said something that's true. They actually played like dog shit. This isn't a thing where they missed chances or whatever. No, like they were crap yesterday. Like even Saliba getting bullied by Isak. Every time Gordon was on the ball, the Arsenal players were shitting themselves. Like it was one of the worst performances. And this shows me that they are feeling the pressure, which is why they didn't go into yesterday's game.
Can you tell me what pressure? What pressure?
Okay, their pressure is we have to win a trophy. Their pressure is we have to win
But
something.
it can't be this trophy, Osam, because as Jess
It
said,
can be because they're in a
But
semi-final
hold on, yeah.
and they're
Jess
2-0 down. At the
Yeah,
start, they
exactly.
believed, but because they
Okay.
missed the chances at the start, all the momentum went. They had a period in the first.
That's
Arsenal were
mental.
good.
That's mentality.
Arsenal
though.
were
That's,
good for like 10-15 minutes the whole game, by
Yes,
the way. Like
yes.
first 10-15, and then they just became dead.
but even Jess said that
As soon as the
you're
Isak
already
goal happened
out.
and it
What
got ruled
pressure?
off, they just went to the
Listen,
shits. Like
From the three competitions, this after losing 2-0 at home to Newcastle, this is the least one you can win. The Champions League, you have more hope in the Champions League than actually overturning a 2-0 deficit at home, going to St. James's Park. And I'm like,
I
the
think you
players
guys,
must have known this. Must have
or you're
known this.
gaslighting or
I
you're
think you
being
guys-
delusional. Don't.
no,
No,
I
I'm
think
being honest.
I think you guys are being too binary about it. I think you guys are making it too black and white. I think you can kind of think you have a chance and know if you score an early goal, you might have a chance, but kind of in the back of your mind, know that it's kind of still over. Like, I don't think it's just as they either believed or they don't. They either had pressure or they don't. It could be a mixture of the two. If we score one goal, maybe it's different. So they tried and they didn't do it. And then all the air was out of their sails once that first goal went in. And then from there, it was like, well, it's over. Now, pressure off, just kind of going through the
Perform
motions.
then. Why didn't they perform after this then?
After what?
The first goal. Okay, you knew it's over. Just play free-flowing football. Everyone was sluggish. The defense was sluggish. Passes was off. David Raya looks like he's playing in the World Cup final. And he's like...
It doesn't suit the narrative, but these players are not physically up to it either. Like, I just don't think that they had it in them to just play. Like, and to just be like, well, just play at St. James when they're rocking and they're up for it and you're just not going to just be pinging it around. Like, I just think that they were kind of, after that first goal, kind of waiting for it to be done, kind of going through the motions, kind of just waiting to go to Dubai. It doesn't help. Martinelli gets injured. You know, I think it's just mentally, I don't think this team is up for fighting on all four fronts. And they showed that they've struggled with it this season.
Well, why aren't they? They've been talking for 2 straight years. All I've been hearing is like, we're the next big thing. We're going to win everything. So why aren't we seeing that? We're seeing like the talk from the fan base, and some of the players are clearly feeling it, as we saw on Sunday. They're clearly feeling it. So why isn't that translating into a big game in a semifinal of a winnable cup?
That's
like, did you just gas yourself up for Sunday? Was that your cup final?
That's a very good question. Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Like, that game on Sunday was ultimately like not that important.
I've already answered that.
Aren't you doing that mentality from Sunday on?
I've already answered that. Like, the way that if there's an option to draw, we play much better. That is the answer. Like, if there's pressure on it, we struggle. This team, it's not even just this team, this club.
Who's responsible for that? Where's your captain? Where's your manager? Where's somebody from the board? Like, who's going to give you that? Like,
let me read the super chat because it's very important.
Do you need to bring somebody in to be that person, or
it's really important?
Isn't Declan Rice supposed to be like a leader and a captain? Like, even though he doesn't wear an armband, like, where is he? He had a horrible game. He got his butt kicked yesterday.
Everybody has a horrible game every once in a while.
Like I said before, it's because you faced a real team that had some grit and fight and mentality, and you guys crumbled. And we've seen it over and over and over again. And I just
let me read the comments because it's very related.
All I hear is we're the next big thing.
Kel, before you do, Mr. Kel, I like your new hairstyle. You look pretty. Thank you, Donna Colin, for that. Appreciate you. It's a man from India. It's fun. He's a Spurs fan from India. Big up the Marconial for the super chat. Really appreciate you, my man, for supporting the channel and getting involved in the conversation. Appreciate you. Mentality problem still after 5+ years of Arteta, and is now the second highest paid manager in the sport. The Arteta outers are proven right then. No.
Let me just say this. Listen, when he first sent the super chat, I read it and I'm like, now this year, the excuses have all just died away. Like, all the excuses have just died away. There is no more excuses. If injuries is your excuse, it is not an excuse. If lack of investment is your excuse, it's not an excuse. There is no excuse. Because you had a run to the Carabao Cup semi-final that's considerably easy. You got to the semi-final, and let's be honest and objective here, for Arsenal specifically, out of all scenarios, Newcastle was probably the easiest scenario. Liverpool are the best team in the world. You don't want to face them. And Spurs, it's a derby, so you don't want that heightened pressure. So you got Newcastle in the draw. And you play them at home first. So you could have taken a lead to St. James's Park. You could have taken a lead to St. James's Park. You could have went there with something. Now,
Also,
I don't think the game was over before it was played. I don't think the players believed it was over either, because at the start they did believe. Now, the issue is, yesterday, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd want to stick pins in my eyeballs. Watching Havertz and watching Isak is like, I don't even want to make an analogy, because every analogy I'm going to make is going to be extremely disrespectful. I don't even think Havertz can replicate Isak's offside goal. I don't think Havertz can replicate him hitting the ball.
There is not even, I don't think Haaland can have that finish.
It's like watching two completely different football players. And yesterday, you saw that quality on display, because Arsenal is the one that needed the goal. By the way, Arsenal have went 3 whole games against Newcastle without scoring a goal. Do you understand that? Like, we're talking about Fabian Schär and Botman, and you're here telling me about Champions League? Fabian Schär and Botman. We're not talking about the Kim Min-jae. We're not talking about Bastoni and Acerbi. We're not talking about Van Dijk and Konate. We're talking about these two. We're talking about Schär and Botman, and they haven't been able to score against them in 3 90-minute games. So I think this whole mentality thing, listen, there's only 2 solutions to this. Either you go in the summer, buy like 3-4 proven players who have won stuff, like mentality proven players. Like, I'm talking 28, 27, like already won stuff. You can't buy no inexperienced, oh my God, potential. You can't do that anymore. Or you change the manager. There is literally no other way to solve this issue. If you're going to go in the summer and buy a bunch of kids again, sometimes Nico Williams, 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds, blah, 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 that doesn't solve your issue at all, because you're going to have this mentality issue all along, to be honest with you. And yesterday it showed, because even your experienced players had bad games, like Saliba, like Rice. Like, these are the ones that you expect, okay, step up now, I need you. And they would shat the bed as well.
Yeah. I'll just say also, like, in terms of this conversation, I'm not under pressure, because I always call out the manager. So I don't know who these fans are that are always positive and all this. That ain't me. I'm not under pressure. I've called out the manager. I've called out the mentality issues. That's not me. You know, so I'm on the same page as Husam with the whole, like, you know, the manager needs to be looked at. You know, I've been Arteta out more than once. So it's, you know, it's above me now. You know, if you guys don't see that we need a major change, I forget what game it was, but the title of my show was Needs Major Change. This was like in like November. You know, I'm not deluded, you know, so that's all I'm saying.
Let me do the rest of them, because they are related to what we're talking. Enigma said the City fan is mad. Haaland is disrespectful. We'll talk about that. Haaland was first disrespectful, and Arsenal were not disrespectful, by the way. Haaland disrespected Arteta. Simple and plain. We all agree on
right,
this.
though.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. You don't disrespect the opposition's manager. That's not in any sport in the world. And if this was Jurgen Klopp, and I said it on the terrace yesterday, he would not have dared to raise an eyebrow to him, not even touch him and tell him to stay humble. He did it because it's Mikel Arteta. This is an opposition manager. Erling Haaland should not have done this. He's a disrespectful prick that should not have done this. It's very simple. And I would say that about every other player that is going to banter a manager. You don't do the manager. The manager is a level above the players. I would, listen, him celebrating in people's faces, them bantering each other on the pitch. Trash talk, we all know that. But you don't go, and we all know this in America. You don't go again versus the manager. You banter each other, trash talk in the NBA. You don't go to the manager and disrespect the manager. You don't do that. So he totally deserved that Gabriel celebrating his face, which is, I'm here for it.
I love it. I love the shit house. I think it's great for the game.
Shit house is great in the game. It's great in the media. The what's his name? The guy that used to play for Brighton, Dupay, whatever his name is.
Oh yeah.
Mopai.
Mopai, you're a cheat. I hope Brighton get relegated.
Yeah, it's fantastic and phenomenal. I'm all for it.
Everyone's
going
always
to
whining about
disrespect a
City Pool
manager?
loving each other. It's like now we can now we get some hatred back.
People
That's
say Mo
fun.
is sensitive. I'm all about, bro. I am the nastiest guy on the pitch when I play soccer. I'm the nastiest guy.
You
I
were
live-
about to say soccer, man. I'm out, man. We can't do this.
Why,
Apologize.
you have 3 Americans. You should apologize to us. It's called soccer
Apologize
here.
to people.
Anyway,
Apologize. It's called football, mate.
But to disrespect a manager, that's like you're past the line, as Joey said in Friends. You're way past the line. You shouldn't do that. That's my opinion on it.
Friends reference, yes.
Why is it mentality and not quality? 29 Havertz, 11 is Martinelli, 19 Trossard.
I can answer this.
Well, I see you're the same.
Plenty of
Arsenal
quality
fan.
on the pitch.
Hold on. I'm just gonna call him out for one thing.
Okay.
With Trossard is clutch. Now
Yes.
you're adding Trossard because of one. I know
Yes,
some would
I
say
was
that.
about to cook him as well. You're the same Arsenal
Very
fan that
fun.
if we were doing the same exact show at the start of the season and criticizing these players, you go like, oh, Trossard is clutch. Havertz got 22 GA in 21 games. Martinelli has scored 15 goals with no pens one season. So you'd be the same guy. So you can't
Yeah,
have your cake and eat it, mate.
It's both. That's why the conversations, you need to have conversations and not just like tweet or whatever, because obviously we have a quality issue. We just spent like 10 minutes talking about how Isak is so much better than Havertz. So there definitely is a quality issue, but that doesn't mean that we don't have the ability to win a cup in 5 years.
Yeah, you have plenty of quality too.
That is a mentality issue. Is
Mr. Moment. Yeah, I get your point about this, which is another topic that I wanted to speak about. If I just want to do this, but the question for the people in the chat, if you want to answer this as well, are we now saying that Arsenal are not Newcastle quality? Like, because I've seen people say, well, shit, Newcastle is better than us. This team is better than us. And I'm like, that's not true. You weren't saying this like 2 days ago. You were saying that Arsenal have passed City in quality. You were saying that we need 1 or 2 players and then we'll get over the line. And now everyone is shit. When I said that Arsenal should sign a left wing, people said, but we have Trossard and Martinelli. We should first sign a backup for Saka. So
SC
have
is the
to
type
sign-
of
Cravo
fan that
Donna would have been
calls out
perfect
all the
for
time.
Arsenal.
Like
If we-
SC is literally the prototype
For a
that
good
Jess
price,
calls
too.
out.
But can I raise a question here before for everyone?
Yeah.
Do Newcastle have a better midfield in Tonali, Joao Linton,
yeah.
and Bruno Guimaraes?
You
Yes.
guys are so full of shit, honestly. Just stop
Can
it.
I-
From a
can-
physicality
so-
point, yes.
Stop.
Creatively,
me-
no.
No, so
Stop
they,
it. If you asked this question in August, we'd all laughed at you. Stop this bullshit.
they don't.
And
It's-
now is the point. It's now. It's hindsight.
No. No one is taking Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes, and Tonali over Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. Stop it.
Well,
Stop this
they're-
bullshit.
They're not. They're not. And Newcastle are not an infinitely better team than us. You know, they're actually not. I think the difference between, and this is, if you don't have game changers at the top end of your pitch, then you're always going to be in a position to get let down. If we have Gordon and Isak in our team, we're completely different. You know, but if we have Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton in our team, we're not any better. That's the biggest difference between the two sides. That was the difference in the tie, was Isak and Gordon. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. Our attackers couldn't do anything with Sven Botman and those guys. They were hurting. As much as people are bantering Saliba and Gabriel, the main reason why they're doing it is because they know they're good. They know they're good. Saliba and Gabriel are one of the best center back partnerships in the league, and they were getting absolutely worked by Isak. And that's not saying like Isak is that good. That's the difference in the tie. That's it. It's not Joe Linton and these guys. Of course, they're brutes. And when you go to St. James, everybody, when they go to St. James, by the way, gets home cooking. Everyone. You go there.
Terrible
you get-
team got a draw there.
I'm sorry?
My terrible team got a draw there this year.
Yeah, but you guys still have gotten mollywopped there at least once, haven't you?
Not recently.
Like, you guys don't traditionally.
We won our last two, or no, we won and drew. Yeah. we
No, but the
draw against
difference is
Joao.
this Newcastle team is levels above the Newcastle team they faced like a year or 2 ago, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Lewis
yeah.
Hall,
What
Livramento,
level?
Bowman.
Newcastle haven't even signed like that many players. It's
Yeah,
just
but you
Tonali.
don't understand.
They recruited really smartly
Botman-
too.
You know, Botman has been injured for over a year, right? Like they
Yeah, he
haven't-
tore his ACL.
and you can tell that yesterday Botman is a different. You remember Botman 2 seasons ago was one of the best defenders in the league.
Oh yeah, he was insanely
Like,
good.
he was spoken about with the
Throwing
same
knee.
ilk as Gabriel and Saliba, and like he was that guy. And him being back makes a difference to them. By the way, Isak has improved. Isak from 2 seasons ago is different than Isak today. Look at his first touch yesterday in the goal that Jacob Murphy scored. Him getting ahead of Saliba, battling Saliba. Isak 2 seasons ago.
Let's take this back.
Okay.
Let's assume in a magical world we're having this conversation in August.
Okay.
Season just started. We would have given Arsenal the keeper and the back line and the midfield. Forward line, we can all agree. Yes, Gordon and Isak both start for Arsenal. No problem. There is no disagreement here, even before a ball was kicked.
Yes.
I hate revisionism. Don't come to me after a game just because Newcastle beat
That's
Arsenal.
not revisionism.
Wait,
not
and act
revisionism.
like their midfield is better. This season, Partey's been one of the best midfielders in the league. Last season, we were doing Rice Caicedo conversations, talking about how amazing Rice. We're actually doing Rice Rodri conversations. Never mind Rice Caicedo.
Yes.
Odegaard was looked at as the best 10 in the league.
Insulting.
And it was getting compared to Kevin De Bruyne. So
I think you're missing the point.
Insulting.
One second. Now, just because Newcastle beat Arsenal, we're going to act like these players
Yeah,
are
maybe
crap.
you're missing
They're
the
not
point.
crap.
You're missing the point. It's 25 games in. Now, it's hindsight. It's after the season. Like, let me give you an example. Before the season started, Declan Rice of last season, he was nominated for Player of the Season. It's not a conversation with a lot of people. Now, there are conversations with other midfielders. Why? There's new information. There's another 25 games that has been played. Over 25 games. Declan Rice has played 33 games this season, including the Cups.
Yes.
So, there's new information. Declan Rice has been tossed around 8, 6, double pivot, single pivot, lone 6, this and that. Thomas Partey, yes, played very good. And Arteta's like, oh, I have to play him right back. That affects our assessment of a player. Right? The new information, Husam. The Gravenberch, start of the season, are you going to say, Gravenberch, start of the season, oh, maybe we need to get someone else. Now, no, Gravenberch, new information.
Perfect. But doesn't this remind you of the question yesterday? Yesterday, we were asked, Gravenberch, Rice, Caicedo, rank them, right? I said, in general, it's Rice, Caicedo, Gravenberch.
Yes.
But this season, on form, it's Gravenberch, Caicedo, Rice. So if you're going to tell me, okay, on form, like based on this season, probably Bruno Guimaraes starts for Arsenal. That's the one that starts for them. Joe Linton definitely doesn't start for them. Tonali definitely doesn't start for them.
Ooh, I think you guys are mad at rating Tonali.
At the current moment, okay, today, I'm going to say today, if you're asking me today, who would I start for Arsenal? Bruno Guimaraes over Partey. Why? It's for Arteta's reason. He played him right back. It's not us. And it's not Partey himself. He played. It's a choice, Husam. You know what I mean? You take a striker, play him as the DM, and you're saying, why does he look bad? Because of your manager. It's not us. And it's not Thomas Partey. If Thomas Partey had a consistent run as DM like he did 2 seasons ago, it would have been great. Declan Rice. Why? I guarantee you we can find more bad games for Declan Rice this season than great games. Everybody agree?
Yeah.
As a performance this season. Why is that? It's not because Declan Rice is bad.
I really wouldn't say that.
Well, I guess
games.
My question would be then, if we're doing an assessment on our team and we have 20-something games to look at, why is it the case that if Newcastle have these better players, why is it the case that like we're still 10 points ahead of them in the league? Because again, we're talking about the overall team and all that kind of stuff. So even with these bad performances from Declan Rice, even Partey at right back and all this kind of stuff, this is why like the meltdowns, the super meltdowns look.
I can answer you then, Jess. I can answer you very easy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, you have multiple reasons why you are ahead of them in the league. Number one, there is something called Gabriel and Saliba. I believe these two together equal Van Dijk. And Van Dijk by himself is one of the reasons Liverpool are top. Like, combine Gabriel and Saliba, you get a Van Dijk. The number two, you had a clutch player as much as them, which is for the beginning of the season. Who is the only clutch player at Arsenal for the majority of the games? Saka, the star boy. They had this in Isak, they had this in Gordon, but Saka was stepping up massively. Your goalkeeper is better than Dubravka. Your goalkeeper saved you a lot of times. Your set pieces is miles ahead of them. You literally have like 6 or even 9 points because of a Gabriel goal here, a corner delivered by Declan Rice there. So this is why you're ahead of them in the league. But overall, Newcastle have been playing, Tonali has been playing better, Bruno Guimaraes has been playing better, Isak has been playing better than Havertz, Anthony Gordon has been playing better than your left side. I named only 4 players. Only 4. I didn't name 7. I didn't name Gabriel, Saliba. I didn't name that. I didn't name Lewis Hall, Livramento. You have Timber.
I think everything is right now, it's after a really contentious week for Arsenal where everything from the red card to this Newcastle game has been super heightened. Literally nothing has changed. If Newcastle was so much better, then nobody would be bantering us over losing to them. We were meant to go through.
Yeah, 100%.
We were meant to go through. But Newcastle are a really good team, and they obviously they deserve a lot of credit. Like, it's not that I think like Newcastle are shit. I think they're so good. I really do. And their rebuild has been amazing, and Eddie Howe's doing a good job. So yeah, but we're definitely meant to be better than them, and I think we still are. So even with all of our injuries and mishaps and whatever you want to call it,
They were missing players in both legs too. Like their captain was suspended the first leg, and then Joe Linton was out injured last game.
That's a coaching
They never
problem,
had a full
then.
squad.
I have a question for our fraudulent host. Is Nottingham Forest better than Chelsea?
No.
But why? They're above them in the league as well.
But they have better. They have something that is way better than them. The goalkeeper, the back four, how the team is set up in front of them, and that is why Nottingham Forest have scored very minimum goals, but they are one of the best defenses in the league. Unless before they go to the 7 goals that they scored against them, or the 5 goals. Okay.
Perfect. You've just been cornered. Everything you said, I agree, but reverse it for Arteta and forward line. That's it. So Arsenal are a better team than Newcastle. Their only issue is they just don't have cohesion in the final third.
I agree with you. If Saka was there,
I don't think this is not like a Newcastle midfield are so good they're better than no. Their back four is not better than us. Their keeper's not better than Arsenal.
I said that,
bro. If I told you Dubravka was in net versus Raya, come on, man. Like, it's a different. Like, there's levels to this. I can claim Alisson is better than Raya, but no one can claim Dubravka is better than Raya. No one can make that claim right there. So that's why I'm telling you, we can't, because a result went against someone, suddenly reverse the energy. We have to ask ourselves, why did this happen? That's the more interesting thing.
I like
not
it.
say that
like
the Newcastle players are better, because they're not. They're genuinely not. If they were, I'd say it. Like, I think Gordon starts for Liverpool. I think Isak starts for Liverpool. I think right now, as things stand, one of the Newcastle midfielders will start for us as well. Probably Bruno Guimaraes. You move McAllister in the 10 as an example. So I can recognize, okay, there are a couple of Newcastle players who are actually really good. But yesterday, there wasn't just it wasn't just names on paper, Mo. Yesterday, there was something that happened in the game that I have not noticed from Arsenal this whole year. And for the first time I've ever saw it. And the other game is what Kel mentioned, which is Man United. First time I saw it yesterday, like at a massive, like I'm talking about like even worse than Man United. It's for the first time ever I see these Arsenal players just completely give up. And I see them intimidated and scared on the pitch. That's why today, as soon as you mentioned Champions League, I laughed. Because if Saliba and Gabriel in a high line having to attack Newcastle are getting intimidated by Gordon, let's assume they draw Real Madrid and they get Vinicius running at them. What are they going to do? Let's assume,
Mbappe.
Yeah, Mbappe. Let's assume like
all 3 at the same time.
Let's assume they draw Barcelona. They have Lamine Yamal and Rafinha running at them. Like, I'm not even going to mention English clubs. I'm just talking like pure, like, let's imagine they have, even though they haven't had the great season, let's say they're having Gnabry and Leroy Sané running at them. The fuck are they going to do if they're intimidated by Anthony Gordon? I think there is an actual issue at this club bigger than, oh, Newcastle have a better team. No, they don't. Arsenal have a better team, but they weren't able to apply themselves. I give you a perfect example right now, and I think even Jess will agree. You're going into St. James's Park 2-0 down. You have no reason to not start Nwaneri. You have no reason to not start 2 men up front. You have no reason to not throw everything. Throw everything at Newcastle and try. If you go down fighting, you go down swinging. You were down anyway in the first leg. But you come to that game and you show no cojones, no fight, no desire, no like you show like you're so scared of Newcastle. What are you scared of, Gordon and Isak? Where is like your cojones? Where is like your mentality? That's the thing that I'm talking about. Yesterday he could have went Nwaneri right wing. Okay, he could have went like Trossard left wing, put Martinelli and Havertz both up top. Drop one of the midfielders as an example. Maybe play 3 at the back. Go stronger going forward. Give yourself a good chance. Everyone knew, this whole panel knew, and all 550 people watching this right now, make sure you're liking and subscribing, also knew Newcastle are gonna be in a low block, and they fucking were. It was literally, this was Newcastle's tactic, right? Newcastle's tactic was 9-0-2.
I have
That's
the opposite vision.
Now, every
completely with
time, by the way, they
Husam.
got the ball, they went long. Gordon, Isak, run. Yalla, run.
Yeah, the
run.
first 3 minutes of the game.
I completely have the opposite approach of this game. I thought Arsenal should have started the game so simple and easy and composed and not trying to press and climb it one goal at a time. That one goal that Arsenal could have scored if they stayed in the game, right? 0-0. If it was minute 80, Arsenal could have got it 2-2. 2-0, and then we go to extra time and penalties. I believe that Arsenal played a high-risk game, that the game was over once Isak scored in the first half. And by the way, Arteta was naive. You already had the sign by the first goal that was scored, that was rolled out. So drop, play a little bit slow, don't press high, and play so composed. Don't do that.
Let's all run. Score against Newcastle.
And that's the whole point. That's me and you disagree. I believe if Arsenal lured Newcastle out and played
score against Newcastle, ask yourself.
No matter what approach we would have taken, if we didn't win, people would have been like, you didn't do it right. You guys both have two different ways of going about the game. If we didn't win from one of those, it would have been wrong. It was the damage.
Jess, don't you think there's a way to lose though?
No. I still think the conversations would be pretty much the same.
I disagree. I think there's a way to lose. I think if you lost like 1-0 yesterday and you hit the post 3 times and you were like attacking them and Dubravka had to make crazy saves, I think at least we say, okay, they tried, blah, 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 and they don't have the correct personnel. But the fact that you did not try now makes me think that it's not just the players that's the issue.
Well, if we had went with your way of being super aggressive and coming out of the gates, if we had conceded 2 or 3 goals right at the beginning, everybody would have said we were naive. If we did what Mo said and started off slow and never really got going and only scored 1 goal, people would have said he would need to come out of the gates. To me, as an Arsenal fan, looking at it from my perspective, the only way that this would have been okay is if we had turned it around. Because there's just no way, there's no reason to be up. Like, I already had my meltdown in the first leg. That was ridiculous. Like, going down 2-0 at home, it's a crime. It's crime. I don't care who you're playing at that stage. I don't give a fuck. So going up there, it's like it was already like, you know what I would have preferred, honestly, guys, if we already felt like we were gonna lose, which I do feel like for the majority of the players, they already thought that they were gonna go out anyway. Don't play any of our real players and just go out there with children. Do that. To me,
you would have seen the complaints from people. He threw away the cup, and oh my god,
I don't care.
See that anyway.
You
know what he looked like yesterday?
Well, hold on. Let me just land really quick, because the problem is now is we have players, and I know it doesn't suit the narrative, that are literally running on fumes. And I would have preferred to save their legs and not get a Martinelli injury and let Raheem Sterling run around for 90 minutes for no reason. Let Kivior run around for 90 minutes for no reason. Because that's essentially what happened anyway, but now they just have 90 more in the tank, and they've also embarrassed themselves. So, yeah, either you're really in it or you're not. I could have told you before the game started that they were going to half-ass it. I know this team. Like, y'all are talking. It's like,
you already did tell us, because you said yes to the show before the game even happened. So we know how you. We know how you move in it.
I want to have a conversation.
Just maybe I'll say something. Maybe I'm just from the Klopp school of thought. Maybe I've been normalized to 9 years of gegenpressing heavy metal. So maybe that's just what it is. But because I've seen Klopp overturn deficits, and you are right, you could have conceded 2 or 3 at the start if you went aggressive, but I guess it's just high risk, high reward. The other side of it is you could have went 2-0 up within 15 minutes because you're so aggressive. Like, you never know, in my opinion. But my thing is, if you felt like it's already going to be a difficult task, might as well just fucking go for it. And just if you die at war, but don't just die with no fight whatsoever. That's my own logic.
That's my only point. Do one or the other. Either fully collapse, like just fully say fuck it, or fully go for it. We kind of do half in, half out, and you don't get anything from that. I saw a very like half in, half out. We're gonna kind of try, but then as soon as they score, we're gonna collapse. It was a wasted 90 minutes. Send the kids then, if you're not gonna actually really play.
So you should have started with Nwaneri and Sterling? Because you
We
don't
should
have
have
you don't
started-
have much of a bench to pull from.
We should have started with Sterling because
Jorginho.
because Waneri actually should be a starter. He should be a starter. He is a starter.
Yeah. I see your point. Guys,
You're not the only one who's told me that.
guys, can we get the
Somebody
likes
said,
up?
don't worry about Saka injury because you have Nwari. I was like, whoa.
There's
okay.
over 500 people here. Can we get to 300 likes, people? Let me do a couple of these. Mr. Moment, I'm a girl who travel very much, not a man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Craig is saying, how has Arteta's number? He won 4 out of the last 5 games. Howdy, the lads.
And I think
Four out of the-
conceding 0 goals in all of those wins, too.
No.
Howdy, not howdy. They're from
Howdy.
That's the American
not
version.
from
Howdy.
Texas. I said, howdy, the lads. How are you, the lads? Newcastle.
Howdy, the lads.
Haaland
That's
was
funny.
correct. Teta need to stay humble, which is the conversation that Husam asked. Why Arsenal collapsing? Why aren't Arsenal winning? That's the whole point. Arsenal can only beat a team weaker than them.
But
Exactly.
Newcastle are weaker than you, so what the hell, bro?
Sunra, but that's not true. Newcastle beat. And if you say that, that means Arsenal team is very good then, because it's not a lot of teams that are, because they beat a lot of teams. It's strange. Sunra. The attack is most important for the knockout games, bail you out. Yes, and that's why.
I don't know. I think you need a good defense.
Yeah, and you're
in
the
this
same
game,
person
too.
that defended
When it
all your
gets tight.
forwards.
You need moments.
You do need moments, but you also want to have. You also want to concede.
Just,
0 too.
me and Jess agree now. Now I know Jess. Me and Jess agree on a lot. Remember last time when we had the Champions League conversation with moments? They started laughing at us. They're like, "Oh, Arsenal have the defense." Blah blah blah. See. Now
Wait
it's
until
proven.
Saka.
I think in a game
Saka's
like
in.
that, you want to concede 0 goals to give yourself a chance.
Eddie Howe has been
Because you
in
have that
more finals than
reasonable
Arteta,
defense.
and I think that is a this
I'm actually worried
conversation.
about
Ooh.
Newcastle at Wembley. I really am.
That is true. This is the second Carabao Cup final.
This is
What a difference Tonali makes on that team and Botman.
Well, I also say that like you've been to more finals. You need to, win the trophy though.
who
I think. Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe. Yeah,
Eddie
he
Howe?
needs to win. Yeah, of course.
This is only his second.
I don't think he
chance.
needs to.
Because if we said that, oh, we've been to more finals, blah blah, you guys would say you need trophies. So, but I get what.
Newcastle are a small club. Like they haven't won a trophy in 70 years.
Arsenal,
70 years, yeah.
Newcastle, Arsenal.
Okay, Jess, I'll
Newcastle.
tell you 2 scenarios. If a miracle happens today and Spurs go through, they won't. Then I'll agree with you. Newcastle have to win it. But if it's
That would be the
Liverpool,
most
we can't
exciting
expect
final.
Newcastle to beat Liverpool. We can't.
Not like they have to win it, but when it's like, well, he's been to more finals than Arteta, it's like that doesn't really mean anything because the one final that Arteta went to, he won. So
Just
That's all.
imagine the banter if the Spurs won a trophy this season and Arsenal didn't.
Oh my god.
it's
It's
imagine.
it
that's
is
gonna be really
nauseating.
bad.
It's nauseating already. Osam is right. Sludden went all attack against Forest when 1-0 down.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, like, okay, we were 1-0 down, okay? We were 1-0 down to Forest. We're away at Forest. You're fucking losing anyway. Slot brought on everyone. He brought on Jota. He brought on like every single fucking forward line player. He just brought them on all at the same time. Just, as they say, just throw the kitchen sink at it. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you fucking lost anyway.
Well, you know what? Can I just Mo really quick? Sorry.
Go ahead. Man.
Oh, because I was just gonna say that like from like the perspective of like just Arsenal in general, we are very risk adverse under this regime. Very risk adverse. The total opposite of what we were under like Raul, who was just, brown paper bags under tables and shit. And there's too many lawyers and not enough football people. And it trickles down from the top. Like everything is risk adverse. The way that we recruit players, they have to be Premier League proven, blah, blah, blah. The way that we don't go out in January transfer window and get players, that's very risk adverse. And Arteta is very risk adverse. Everything about this club right now is we want to say kind of in a healthy place, but not push too far because we're afraid that this and this is going to happen. And so I would love for us to be more like Liverpool and just go for it. But that's just not who the club is. And it's frustrating because I don't think you win anything by being scared. I think if you make decisions based on fear, you usually make the wrong decision. And that's kind of the era that the club is in right now. And it's very frustrating. We have like 3 or 4 lawyers in positions picking talent. And it's showing. It's showing 100%.
I wanted to ask a question about that. That was raised yesterday on one of the people that was on some other channel. And I was just by accident It was put in front of me. The Arsenal will never win anything with this mentality and this manager and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? Why are you assuming that? You have to, number one, I just want to say something. We have to live with the fact, and me and Husam has agreed on this on MHF, that Arteta out conversation is a no point because it's not happening. Like, it's not happening. So now the question would be, how can Arsenal get better? And will Arsenal win a trophy with this manager? Will Arsenal be winners again? Is it a mentality problem? What is there to be fixed? We all know, oh, bring 2 world-class players. Arsenal not bringing world-class players. You aren't going to sign Issa. We all know that. You're going to go and get Sesko. We all know this. We all know in the summer, you're going to go get a Sesko. You're going to go get a Real Sociedad. Even if you get Zubamendi, he's a Real Sociedad player. He's not a Barcelona player. You're not getting Frankie de Jong. Yes, Zubamendi is good and great and everything. Zubamendi is good when you have Salah and Van Dijk.
Yeah.
And Alisson. If you bring in Zubamendi and you're like, you win us the trophies, I'm like, well, he plays for Real Sociedad. He doesn't play for Real Madrid. You get my point, right? So we have to make peace.
He lost to Lazio 3-0 and he lost to Girona 3-0.
Exactly the point, Husam. You're not going to bring like,
You're
you're not going to bring a Kevin De Bruyne from Man City. You're like, so we made peace with it. So how can Arsenal get better then? And will they ever get better? You're an Arsenal fan. You want to win trophies. That's your whole point of supporting the club and living the moments and all of this. Oh, I want to win the league or the Premier League. You have. I know that you watch the team win the Invincibles. I know that.
Well,
I know. No, but I get that. There is sad freaking was alive when Arsenal won the league. Like, it's not that far. It's not like 50 years ago. You're not Spurs.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't know, because you're right. Arteta's not going anywhere, and so unless he changes, which he did change, he changed from the first season we challenged to the seasons now, so he can change, but he needs to go backwards. He needs to go back to the person he was when he was fresh and not this like scared, traumatized guy. Because I feel like obviously this team could have won something by now. It's not just a talent thing. We just can't get it over the line. So I think he also needs to figure out a way to tap into the emotional side of this team. Because I feel like in big games, like the Newcastle game, the Man United game, games in the past, the title race games, the emotional side of the game is always missing. The tactics are there, the patterns are there, but that get over the line, that hard work, those tackles that you make, like last-ditch tackles, they're not there. And I'm just wondering if Arteta lacks that, and so the players also lack that. But he needs to improve as a manager and as a coach and let go of this like very like stiff, rigid way that he plays. Stop being scared. But I don't even know if we need a world-class striker and a world-class winger. We just need better than what we have, because genuinely, I think like what we have is barely good enough for top 10 in attack. It's so bad. Mbomo makes you better. Semenyo makes you better. It's not even like it's that bad. Like we have
How is it that bad when you scored? How is it that bad when you scored like 91 goals?
On it today.
They're scoring a lot of goals against bad teams. They're not scoring against the good teams.
Done, you guys. Jess is done. She fully
need to beat up a 50-year-old midfielder.
Genuinely.
Do you guys really believe that? You really believe this? Like,
yeah, I do.
It's not a reaction. It's not a reaction.
No, it's not. It's not. At the beginning of the season, when it started, I was like, our attack with the transfer window closed, I said our attack, if I'm being kind, is a top 6 attack. Kind. It's not good enough. Because you know what? It lacks so much in like pace and dynamism and moments and clinical finishing. It's like a lot. And as much as I love Saka, and this probably will be an unpopular opinion, Saka is a fabulous player, but he's mostly a creator. We've banked on him being like a Salah, and he's not a Salah. So on top of that, you have a lot of pressure on a player that's not a natural goal scorer. And he's fantastic, but he's not a natural goal scorer. And then you have Martinelli, who's been bad for like 2 years. It is.
Husam just did like the expressions face that like that was really funny.
It is. But there's people in this Arsenal fan base that feel like it's Isak or die. And I'm like, genuinely, you could bring in freaking Delap and we'd be in a better situation. Like, be serious for 5 seconds. Like,
Oh,
you don't need
I
like,
should kind of agree with you.
Oh
Because
my
Delap
god!
grew up playing in a possession-based like
you know what the
system.
problem is, Sam? You're not calling out the revisionism from Jess. Not Jess, because Jess is saying this, and other Arsenal
No,
fans now are
just been
saying,
saying this for a
hold
while
on,
now.
hold on. So not Jess, but Arsenal fans who have said in the beginning of the season, we're actually happy with Havertz. He can replicate the second half of the season last
How
season.
am I
We're in
not
good
calling out
hands.
the revisionism when I called it out from SC earlier on? I know, I know the ones. There are a couple of people in this chat that every time at the start of the season we criticize someone, they were here like, oh, this guy is this and this guy is that. Jess was never like that. Like she's always said we need to improve our forwards. So I'm not calling her out, but I'm surprised at the level of how much like she's had enough. Like she just said Delap. She's at like Nunes levels with me, with like, but like she's like at Nunes levels with like 5 of her forwards.
you know why I'm like that now is because there's like a weird section of our fan base that loves Havertz, and I don't think we should hate him. But when you turn on players that were actually good for us, but you love Havertz, I can't take you seriously as a person. Like I can't. He's really not a good footballer, guys.
You bring it up a very, very good conversation. And the problem with the
5 million
Arsenal
in the
fans,
drain.
with the problem with the Arsenal fans, that Liverpool fans didn't fall out in love with players. The only player that they defend with all their heart is someone who already broke the record, won the Champions League, won the Premier League, nominated for Ballon d'Or. Salah delivered at the club, was already called the flop before he even
Van
kicks a
Dijk,
goal.
Trent, Alisson, those are the ones.
Like Salah, especially Salah. Like Liverpool fans love Salah. Why? He delivered. The problem is Arsenal fans are so emotional with some of the players at the team, but they haven't delivered yet. Why are you so attached to that guy? They haven't won anything with this guy. Like, be attached to Vieira, be attached to
Mo. They've never. A lot of Arsenal fans, especially ones online that you guys see on Twitter, have literally never seen a good Arsenal side. So when you've actually watched an Arsenal team that has won things, I know this team doesn't have it. I'm like, they don't have it. You know, you can't have watched the likes of like Vieira and Henry and stuff and then look at this team and say that it's the same. And there's nothing wrong with supporting the players. Like, I love Odegaard down, but he can make it shake too. He can go somewhere else if he's not going to live up to the standards. If he doesn't live up to the standards, I feel like people are harsh on him still, but you get what I'm saying? Like, nobody is above the club. Not the manager, not these players, not anything. But it's just strange.
The problem with not just only everyone in the chat. You guys remember the interview that AFTV did, and that's not Twitter people. These are people that go to stadiums. Okay, this is no Twitter. These are real people that have season tickets that go week in, week out. Do you agree? Would you take winning the league and selling Bukayo Saka? And they said no. You're like, what? Win the league and sell Bukayo Saka, as good as he is, he hasn't won anything. He hasn't won the league in 20 years.
Yeah.
You are attached to him because he's a star boy. But I'm sorry, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Win the league. You haven't won. Your biggest achievement in the last 20 years would be winning the Premier League. I would get rid of, if you ask me tomorrow, would you get rid of Barella or anyone in my team? And I mean anyone. Well, I'm just going to put it even worse. If Sam tells me tomorrow, Mo, would you take winning the Champions League this season if it means Bastoni and Barella go together? And I'm like, shake your hand, 1-0 Sam. I swear to God, I would do that. Win the Champions League this season, and he goes, shake your hand. I'll shake your hand. I want to win the trophy, and that's the problem. The emotional, the songs for Kai Havertz, Waka Waka, bantering other fans, all these songs. I'm like,
that song too.
It's not about that.
Well, they haven't sang that song in a while because he hasn't scored a goal in a while.
Oh no, Habibi, he did when he scored against Man City.
Oh yeah, against City.
Yeah, Habibi, he did score.
See, that's how bad my team is right now. We're letting Kai Havertz score.
No, you said there was going to be a high-scoring draw, Kel. We're not going to forget about that.
Draw.
Call her out, Jess.
I did say draw. I didn't say win. I said draw.
You said Marmoush had something for us. He didn't have anything. He had nothing but a ghost game.
Losing the ball.
I told you that guy wasn't going to do anything against us. Listen. One thing I know about my team is we're gonna play good when it doesn't matter. Okay, no pressure, Arsenal. We're on that shit.
That fucking
I
statement.
would struggle to
We
say
need-
anybody
I
performed.
swear
on
to
Sunday.
God, this statement need to be the
No,
thing
let
of
them
this
argue.
show.
Why do you get involved? Let them. They're
Speaking
arguing
of,
for fun time.
Speaking
them
of
argue,
Sunday,
man.
I thought yesterday you looked exactly how City looked on Sunday. Like we literally transferred that team to you yesterday. Bozo mistakes at the back, Bozo keeper mistakes, missed chances hitting the post. Like you literally look like we did on Sunday.
I mean, at least we didn't. We conceded to a world-class striker. You conceded to Havertz. That's shameful.
We're conceding to Timo Werner. So trust me, and anything you did on Sunday, we've been doing all season. I wouldn't be surprised if Darwin Núñez walked into the Etihad and scored a hat trick. I'm not kidding. That's how bad we are right now. We have no midfield and we have no back line. We are terrible.
I am not a
Grandpa Jamie Vardy tore us a new one. Like we have everybody and their sister has been just absolutely destroying our midfield and back line this whole season. So don't think your team's anything special.
No, they destroyed world-class John Stones. Triple winner John Stones. World-class John Stones. Never been good. He was not just ever put under pressure. He's never good.
He was only good in that Champions League final against your team.
As a midfielder, yes. Never as a defender.
I love it.
Ever. Never as a defender. That's the reality. Arsenal destroyed that Man City team.
He had his one moment in the sun. His one defensive moment in the sun denied Husam a Centurion Invincible league title. And they came in second that season by 1 millimeter. Remember that?
Oh yeah. Oh, he had that clearance of the goal, bro. Bro, that one goal. But anyway, listen. You know what I thought about?
If you want to keep bringing up the Invincibles, this is not directed at you, Jess. This is just Arsenal fans in general. If you want to keep bringing up the Invincibles, my team is the only reason that your team is the only team that has only reason that your team is invincible because we've prevented it twice. Chelsea and Liverpool.
When did you Chelsea?
Yeah, it was like in 04-05-ish, something like that. They were
really?
Yeah, they had one loss that season. And they
only lost
pre-takeover City beat them that season, and that's the reason they're not invincible. They didn't go invincible that season.
Well, thank you very much. I'll take that and my 5-1. Thank you very much.
Oh! I'm glad you won a trophy this season. I'll just say that. I'm glad you won the Champions League treble on Sunday. I'm glad you won it.
Listen, I will take my low-level banter as much as I can.
Oh my days!
Because that 5-1 fed my soul. It does need to be a trophy.
You guys got fat on it. Yesterday.
Thank you. I'll take that and my 5-1. Oh my god! Pow! 5-1 was very humiliating. I can't even.
Like I said, I'm glad you won the trophy on Sunday.
Yeah.
It is 5-1. It will never happen. It will never be Arsenal and Arteta 5-1. We all know that.
Me bragging about beating you 5-0 like 3 seasons ago.
Listen, I do feel like people have this is in general, football space, not necessarily Cal, but just in general. People have a very difficult time with like timely banter that comes just from like a one game thing. Because when so-and-so beats us, ain't nobody asking Brighton where their trophies are. Ain't nobody asking Aston Villa they're not asking shit. They just laughing. So I just get to laugh. We don't have to win anything. I'll bring up that 5-1. I'll bring it up.
I actually agree with Jess on this one.
It rattled you guys.
You in a game like this, you have to bring it up.
I will bring it up. The 8-2 still gets brought up. 7-0 will always get brought up. As football fans, take the stick out and just literally laugh because we got it right back. Newcastle, it came right around. So you have to laugh at it when it happens because the boom is coming. The boom came like 3 days after. I don't know why football fans are so like, yeah, but you haven't won a trophy and you're not going to win anything. I don't care. I do not care. I think I care about that. I don't. And if somebody beats us 5-1, they'll banter us just the same. And it's well within their right. Newcastle had every right to do what they did yesterday. The ball, that whole thing about Arteta blaming the ball, they had every right to do that. Every right. It's funny. Laugh. Relax. Especially City fans, because why are you even rattled? You guys are like champions of the world. Unlimited funds. Why are you upset? It's just little old Arsenal.
No, Newcastle's the one with the unlimited funds. We're actually poor compared to them.
Y'all ain't poor though, are ya?
Poor.
You actually aren't that much far behind. Kroenke's not that much poorer than Sheikh Mansour is. He's just choosing not to spend his money on his team.
We're not going there, Kel. We're not going there, Kel. You don't want me to
The
start
15
a
billionaire versus
Arab
like a
money.
22 billionaire.
We just
We're
stay
Arab.
with Kel.
It's funny it's funny because like me listening to this conversation is like listening to two rich people argue Ferrari or Lamborghini, and I'm just homeless. It's crazy.
Well, Sam, go away.
The homeless 3 billionaire over there, sir.
FSG out! FSG out now, you fucking
Yes, the
fraud.
poor billionaire. Liverpool's owned by poor billionaires.
Be
Sure.
Yeah, but
serious.
you're American. You know about the Red Sox. These guys boo them all the time. They hate John W.
Yeah,
Henry.
I'd support the
There
Red
will
Sox.
be riots in Boston if they buy the Celtics. There will be actual riots.
Oh God,
So.
yeah, that would
Why is there no Man United fan on here
put the
today?
city under the dome.
Why would we do with the Man United fan? Staffy, what would you do with them? The freaking 12s. What was
Because you know why? Because it's just, first of all, I don't care. Any day that I can get one over on Man United, I want to. Everything has been about us.
it got boring. It got boring.
They lost to freaking Crystal Palace at home, and I haven't been able to say anything about it.
It got boring. Even Husam told, I think we would.
It's never boring, Mo. Not for me.
Man, Husam was like, okay, on another, we literally did 2 hours on the hour. We didn't speak about Man United for 1 minute.
Well, next
After
time.
the day they lost, by the way, the day they lost, no one seemed interested from the chat.
Yeah, we have like Ahwa tonight as well. At the end of
Jess,
the day,
we had
look,
2,500 people. No one wanted us to speak. 2,500 people.
yeah, we just
When
cooked
we
100 for 2 hours.
We started talking about United. They said, no, we don't care. No one cared.
Oh, they're
No
fully
one.
mid-table now. They're fully mid-table. That's crazy.
Listen, relevance is important, Jess. It's like relevance is important. You know, it's like at the end of the day, now I think Arsenal, Liverpool, and City are the 3 most relevant clubs. Just pure relevance. Like if one of us loses, it's like yeah,
and Chelsea sometimes.
Chelsea to an extent, but the Chelsea fans are a bunch of frauds because they hide.
I swear, Man United lose and no one cares. Why? It's not news anymore. I said that last season and people laughed at me. I said, when a team keep losing, when you lose again, it's not news. There's no headlines. What's the headline? You just lost yesterday. There's no headline.
Funny though. Not gonna lie.
What's wild?
No, I swear there is no headline. It's only fun to banter them, but then when they become like, you don't feel it. Like even Staffy, I was talking to him after the game. He's like, bro, why are people upset? Why is people still doing rants and stuff? What do you mean explosive rant? Rant for what? You just lost yesterday, bro. It's like you're watching the same. He literally used that. He said, you're watching the same scary movie and you get scared in the same scene after 10 times. I'm like, why are you scared? Because you knew this is coming.
In the same nightmare over and over again.
It's like ridiculous. And he's right. I'm done with this team, bro. You should have been done 3 years ago. You have not been near any title for 12 years. 12. You're not even in a title race for 12 years. It doesn't matter. Winning the cup. Wigan won the cup.
Trophies over
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Your name, and I'm saying this to Man United fans, your name is the name that is not mentioned near any cups or any big one, the Champions League or the Premier League, for 12 years. You're done. You're done.
Yeah. The one thing is like the narrative around cups, like for us, it's embarrassing not to have won anything in 5 years. But for them, nothing changes if they win those little cups because they would trade places with us tomorrow. They would. They would trade places just like that. Boom. And I know it. So it's like, yeah, but c'est la vie. No United fans. No Nina either, because I want to know why you guys gave away João.
Yeah, where the hell is Nina?
You guys never tell me the reality. Chelsea nowadays are only relevant when they lose. If they win, nobody.
No one wants to talk about it.
It's okay. Like I tried to talk about it when they like, no one cares.
Sanchez's fault. Yalla, Lewis will appear in the chat.
Exactly. It's all Sanchez. Every time they lose, we have to talk
Beetlejuice.
about the goalkeeper and the board and all of the stuff. It's the manager is, yeah. It's all about that. The problem is, to be honest, is that Arsenal are the team that is most relevant than anyone else. I think in the whole world. I genuinely believe that Arsenal is the most relevant team in the world. Mo, why do you talk about Arsenal?
I disagree.
We are so.
Can I explain it? Why? You know why?
I think the most relevant club in the world is Real Madrid.
No.
Yeah.
For us, for English-speaking people, it's
1A and
Arsenal.
1B.
Let's say Premier
Yeah,
League.
Habibi, you just said in the world. The whole world doesn't speak English, okay?
Let me tell you something. Because I live in America and these two live in America, there is two different communities in America. The people that watch shows in English, I'm telling you, I live in America and I know this. My friends that only watch La Liga, the Spanish community, the Hispanic community, they only watch Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and the people that watch the Premier League. The people that watch the Hispanic community, I promise you, they really don't care who wins the league in the Premier League. They don't even follow. They don't know the transfers. They don't care. These people live in a completely different world. They watch the Spanish shows. They watch the Spanish channels, Telemundo and all these, and they don't care about ESPN.
Telemundo, not
It kinda
Telemundo.
depends.
I don't speak. The difference, the other ones that watch Premier League, they only
You
watch
said in the world. There are 6% of the people in the world who speak Spanish. 5% of the people
Did you
in the
Google
world.
that? Did you Google that?
Yes, who speak English. I googled it.
I know
Google
that.
is free, open
Yeah,
new
I think
tab.
Spanish is a lot higher.
Yo habla español poquito, you get me. So most people know about Real Madrid. mate.
But
Well,
the problem, okay, maybe okay,
Okay.
okay, let me rephrase it then. Husam, you like to pick on small
Because he
points.
said in the world.
Let me rephrase it.
That's just not
In the
not
league,
true.
in the Premier League, Arsenal are the most relevant club. Is that
Wrong.
okay? Okay, hold on. Why?
Liverpool are the
especially
most
right
relevant
now,
club.
shit. This week between that red card and this Newcastle game, every day Arsenal, every moment Arsenal. Why you guys keep talking about Arsenal? Of course we're gonna talk about our club. It's our club. Why are y'all talking about us? Like
I can tell you why. I can tell you. I can
a lot of
explain to
fan
you why.
base.
I can explain to you why. It is not about the fan base. Liverpool have a freaking new manager. They have players that we watched win before many times. Man City have a team that won 4-peat and won a triple already. If they're doing bad, who cares? They'll come back. Arsenal have a manager that is young, inexperienced. You have players that haven't won anything yet. Your club chose to hire an inexperienced manager. You said it before. It's a choice by the board.
yeah.
You are between the top 5 clubs. You are the club with the most distant major trophy. In 2004, it's 2025. It can be 22 years. And you still have a manager that has been here for 5 years. So the points are Arsenal. This is it. The most relevant club
If
in terms of
Liverpool
argument.
to Spurs today, we're gonna have 3,000 people watching Ahwa.
Oh, ew. God, this cat.
That's because of you.
Wow!
That's because of you. You have to be honest. Let's be honest. That's because people want to banter you. I'm being serious. It is not because of Liverpool. And it will be mostly, I'm going to tell you what, it will be, I'll tell you what, on the other Liverpool channels, it will be mostly Liverpool fans. Liverpool lost to Spurs. Yeah, it's a big thing. But Arsenal, the problem with Arsenal is much bigger than one game. It's what Jess is saying. How do we sit here in 2025 with a manager that has been here for 5 years and we still have Kai Havertz as a forward? We still have Martinelli. We haven't won a trophy. We haven't won a trophy. We haven't won a trophy. That's the conversation about Arsenal continues. And the board is still sticking with the same manager. Any other big club would have fired their manager, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Any other club would have fired their manager.
A long time ago. He would have been gone in 2020.
Exactly. There is no like, oh my God, process. You think Chelsea staying with Maresca without a trophy for 3 years?
Oh my
That
God.
guy's on the first thing smoking.
A manager sneezes at Chelsea and they sack him. Like,
Let me do the super chats to see what the guys are saying. Oh, this stunned them. Who would you rather win the Champions League, Tottenham or Arsenal?
You have to be fucking in the
Can't
Champions
win it
League.
if you're not in it. Damn.
Yeah, like, yeah. Who
My
would you rather
man,
win the Champions
English.
League, Brighton or
First,
Arsenal?
I feel like every other rival, I can speak for them, would prefer Tottenham to win.
I'll prefer Arsenal to win the Champions League.
You're not
I'm
a
ready
rival.
for Armageddon in that situation.
You're not a rival, Mo. I'm telling you right now, that is no. They do not want us to win shit. They hate us now. They'll hate us then. Because one thing we'll never let you live it down. Like I'm never gonna let Kel live the 5-1 down. It's not even a trophy. We're shameless. We're shameless. You know
saying
us.
you're the worst fan base?
Huh?
No, but you're saying you're the worst fan base?
I
No,
personally,
no, Man United are the worst fan
I don't
base,
think
by
we're the worst. I do think we're annoying though, and I think we don't let shit go. Like so yeah. I would hate Arsenal. I would hate Arsenal if I was a rival, but I love us down. I love us. So
The problem, like, when I started doing YouTube, Liverpool going for the quad. Husam, Rams, Jerry James,
He hated
Tom
me at the
Little.
start. Me and Mo's
Bro,
story started with a lot of hatred.
it's so
Me and Mo first
crazy.
worked with each other on the
Annoying.
terrace before Liverpool played Inter Milan. Liverpool drew Inter Milan, quadruple charge season. I said it's going to be the easiest game ever at the San Siro. This guy was so rattled. He had his Inter studio back then. He was so mad. He was like, I don't know how you could talk about Inter like this. You're being so disrespectful to Inter Milan. I think Liverpool are a good side, but you're doing too blah, blah, blah. He hated me that year. We started, I feel like every like story starts with hatred at the beginning, you know? It's just, like that's
They
just
won
how it starts.
2-0. They won 2-0 on the San Siro.
Guys, why is people in the chat? There's some people in the chat being fucking weird. Guys, control yourself. Exactly what Red Lion said. This is not Tinder. I promise you, guys. She talks Arsenal. Kel is here to talk about football. This is it. Calm down. Calm the fuck down, you guys. So fucking weird, bro. First time you see a woman in your life, go outside, touch some grass. Go to the fucking mall, bro. Like, it's just meet people. Speak to people fucking outside, bro. What the fuck's wrong with some of you guys? Like, you see a woman on the screen, oh wow, a woman is talking about football. I'm gonna get an erection. Calm the fuck down. What's wrong with you guys? My God.
There's a whole other app if you want to.
Yeah, there's different
Look
apps
at
for that. I doubt people will swipe correctly on you, you know, but yeah. Like, not, I mean, in the chat, obviously.
Yeah. But I think
go to the mall.
I like Coffee
The
saying
reason why we would prefer Spurs to win the Champions League is because Spurs are a nothing club. It is the equivalence of you telling me, would you rather like Spurs win the Champions League? I mean, sorry, Arsenal win the Champions League or Brighton win the Champions League? I equate Spurs
Brighton,
to like,
of course.
Yeah.
Brighton, of course.
Yeah.
I swear, I equate Spurs to like Brighton and Crystal Palace. If they win the Champions League, who gives a fuck? Let them win it. Like, it doesn't fucking bother me.
I have a question. Would you rather Arsenal win the Champions League or Man City win the Champions League?
Arsenal win the Champions
League. We've already won the Champions League. Did you forget?
Arsenal win the Champions League.
Did you specifically, Mo? Did you forget about that?
No, I didn't forget.
I did.
I didn't forget.
Well,
but apparently,
I believe you.
Listen, one thing I'm good for is forgetting things that City have done. Sorry, nobody remembers.
That's what everyone tells me. No one actually cares. What does Season Murphy have? He has been having wages at 35K per week. Yeah, Eddie Howe has done a phenomenal job with him. Eddie Howe has done a phenomenal job. The man from Uncle is saying, if we sign in Ketia or Balogun, we win.
I'm gonna go pray and come back. I can't.
You know what though? That like this also goes back to the board. Nketiah was persisted with, and he was not good at all. Balogun was sold immediately. He's not doing that well at Monaco, but you know who is? Micah. He was in our academy like 2 days ago, but they didn't even think to keep him. They just gave him away for pennies. Like, we need wholesale changes.
I don't know who is that, by the way. But...
Yeah, he plays for Monaco, and he scored a hat trick for Monaco.
Not Balogun. You said the other one?
Micah. His name is Micah. And he's been playing in the Champions League this whole time. But again, in the summer, he was an Arsenal player, but we sold him. But they kept Nketiah for, and everybody knew Nketiah was crap. Like,
no, Nketiah, to be honest with you, is a championship level player.
You got good money for him.
Yeah,
championship level player. The guy's awful.
We robbed Crystal, like we swindled Crystal Palace. Like, they should not have paid 30 million. But
Robbie blaming Klopp for not getting Cisco, the Red Bull thing. By the way, Robbie actually was serious.
Was he?
Yeah, he was like, okay, the problem was Robbie. Robbie is a very experienced broadcaster and YouTuber. So he doesn't put the statement out. He puts the idea in the fans' heads. You know what I mean? Like, he asked it in terms of like question. Yeah. But the problem is there are a lot of people that were like, oh, maybe it is Jurgen Klopp who prevented us from getting Cisco. Maybe Robbie has a point. Robbie, you know Robbie is not gonna, Robbie's too big to go out and just put it out there. Yes, Jurgen Klopp is doing it. But maybe he's, and people believe it. You know that, Jess. You know how it works. It's the headlines, the headlines.
Yeah.
Jess said, I knew you were shit, but holy crap. That's what she said.
Ooh.
Basically, that's what she said. I never rated the attack. I rated Arteta use of them. Yeah, Arteta was good use of them.
At the beginning, yeah.
Last season, this time last year, they were flying, and he just like abandoned that principle for some odd reason.
Okay. By the time I do the next super chat, I'm trying to save an image, and I'm just gonna put it on the screen. It's a fantastic image. I will laugh my ass out loud. Get at Chelsea, Jess. We want all the smoke. 2 UEFA Champions League.
I'm not even saying that much about Chelsea. All I'm saying is you got rid of João Felix so quickly. You guys did the whole video about him coming home, and you used the Kanye West song, and he's gone again. I just wanted to ask Nina about that transfer window. That was all. I'm not trying to get at y'all.
Yeah.
I vote for Chelsea.
It is Andrew Wright birthday today. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Andrew.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday, Andrew. Happy birthday. Here you go. Watch this.
What is this? Oh,
Mo is like pushing him off the cliff, like, go.
100 million pounds.
never.
My man. 100
I
million
vote for
pounds.
this.
Oh my God. I love it. I'll sell him for 80 million pounds only. Oh my God.
We'll never.
Wow.
You know that we're never going to get him because he's not over 6 feet tall and has a decent touch. We're not going to get
No,
him.
for a lot of people, he had a very decent touch though.
Yeah, that's a bad source. I think that guy said
Actually,
we were getting
he's a
Cambiasso.
phenomenal. Actually,
Not good.
he's very
Fashala,
good. He's a very good player, actually. I think he takes Arsenal over the line,
be serious.
honestly.
You
If
hate
you
him.
had yes, but if you had Lautaro Martinez up top, a striker in the box, he would score goals. Yes.
Oh,
With
well,
Havertz
if
behind him.
you wish him on us, I wish Jorginho on you. How about that? He'll be free in the summer. So how about you go in and get
I'll
him?
take Jorginho on the bench, yes. No problem. I'll take Jorginho on the bench.
He might do
I
better.
mean,
in
He's
Serie A.
better than Aslani. I'm being serious. He'll do good for us. I'm being serious. See?
We'll never see Lautaro.
The only one I wouldn't take from Arsenal is Kai Havertz. The only one I wouldn't take from Arsenal is Kai Havertz.
That's it.
You know
That's-
why? That's the only one. You know why? Because Kai Havertz, if he comes to Inter, he's not a bench player. The wages and the stuff, he's going to be a starter. And I can't take him as a starter. The problem with Kai Havertz is not that he's so bad as a football player. It's that he's the starting striker for Arsenal. If
Yep.
Kai Havertz was a 20-minute, 15-minute player off the bench, everyone would see like a master class. They brought Havertz from the Bayer Leverkusen off the bench. That is the problem.
Yep.
The problem is he's now the starter.
Yep.
I can't believe the Arsenal are going to the Champions League with the starting striker of them, Kai Havertz. It's fucking mad. And how is the board didn't see this? That is beyond crazy to me. That is beyond crazy.
I will send you the things that came out after we went out against Bayern. There were like journalists were writing that Arsenal knew that they were missing X factor after we went out to Bayern. It's a year later, and they still have they didn't even buy an attacker in the summer. This is what they know. The fact that it's worse when you know. If you don't know and you're just stupid, that's different than knowing and not doing. They know they don't have it, but they didn't do it because they couldn't find their perfect person. And Arteta told Sesko that he wouldn't start because Kai Havertz, blah, blah, blah. Somebody needed to, yeah.
The problem is now, I'm gonna end on this. The problem is the PR now from Arsenal, which is what we're talking about, is that we didn't have enough funds in the wages to sign a striker. Well, if Sesko was available, you would have signed him, didn't you? You would have signed him. But because you have to wait for Sesko, you're throwing off your season. You're throwing away the season. And that is a problem, to be honest. That is a massive, massive problem with Arsenal. Last 2 super chats. That guy is saying, we will send Joao Felix to Italia so he can dance on Mo's in their head top, Kaka region, class. You can use Joao Felix now because Cole Palmer is not performing. Jadon Sancho is at 1 assist in 10 games. 1 assist in 10 games, Jadon Sancho. World class, Jadon Sancho. Madueke, you don't like him, and Joao and Neto, your manager is not using him. And also, AC Milan is 6th in the league. I will win today against Fiorentina and I'll be top of the league. Can you say that, Dakai? Top of the league. Or you spend all this money, you're 5th or 4th or whatever. You can even challenge Dakai. So hold that. Hold that. Your board is selling you out.
Kyle Walker to save their season.
Bro, they have Kyle Walker and Joao Felix. Maybe
I heard he had a shot on target the other day, and I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Maybe you can replace him with Darwin Nunes for my friend, 50 million. I love it. I would love a 50 million plus Darwin Nunes tomorrow for Lautaro Martinez. I'm taking it. Sam, I know you have to go to start your show. Look at this.
He just flashed you a 5.
I don't know, the fiver? Are you sending a 5 super chat? What are you doing?
His mic? It's not on. Hello?
I think he means he has 5 minutes.
He's making prayers.
How
He's
are
making
you?
prayers.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
He's making
5
prayers,
minutes.
guys. He just
5
prayed.
minutes.
He just prayed Maghrib, so he's making prayers after the prayer.
Yes, I said
Making
5 minutes. Why would I send you a super chat? You're literally my partner. Where's my money for MHF December and January?
Once I go to America, I'll send you the money.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go then. There you go then. Talking about paying you money. Fraud.
Bro, I pay your guys that do your thumbnails, and I pay the guy that does your shorts, bro.
Yeah, and it comes out of the MHF fund, so you can hold that. So pay Husam. Hashtag pay Husam in the chat right now.
I'm not the source. I was sent this by Rory, and he's asking me for the source. I don't know who the fuck is this guy, Fijajas or whatever.
Send him
This
an
guy is.
envelope so you can avoid taxes.
Oh my, this guy. I don't know the guy.
Put up
And
the screen again. Who the hell is the name? Fihasas? What's his name?
Bishalis.
Yeah, the bad source.
Bashaz.
Who the fuck is that guy? Bring up comment.
Mo doesn't even care who it is. This is the best source. It's Ornstein level sources for him.
This is
I
tier
don't know.
one.
Ornstein's
journalist.
reputation took a hit this window, so I don't know, man.
Bro, David Ornstein. Arsenal are
replaced by
in
the
for
purple
the big
panel.
one. Arsenal are exploring a striker position. Arsenal definitely interested in signing a striker. Fabrizio recycle. Arsenal are gonna invest in this window. ITK's eyes, troops, cuss the shit out of all the ITKs by name.
He did.
Who?
By names, troops. By names yesterday on his
Oh.
stream. He cussed the shit out of them by names. It's like, you posted an eye. You got us excited. Where is your source? Where is the striker? He cussed
Honestly,
the
though,
shit out.
like if you still believe those people after that's on you. That's on
But these
you.
yeah.
people know something. Someone told them something.
They don't know shit. They don't know anything. The Eduardos and those guys, they don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Fabrizio's the GOAT.
They don't know shit.
Even
You know,
fucking
I'll
Fabrizio
say
was-
this about someone that I know. Mo Arsenal 86 was a co-host on Football Wars, so I actually know the guy personally. I know that he wouldn't just lie and make shit up. But as someone who was at some point in time involved in heavy transfer activity, and stuff through knowing people at the club and stuff like this, I was heavily involved in this. People like Redline and Taranga will tell you, I told the people we're going to sign McAllister 3 months before it happened. Same thing with Gakpo. Same thing with the Arthur Melo situation. I knew a lot. Thing is, sometimes the club just wake up and change their minds. I told you guys about the Sherky situation, and I wasn't making it up, but the club just opted not to do it. I'm genuinely not even making stuff up. We really wanted Sherky, and then we just fucking changed our mind. With Mo Arsenal, I know he's not a disingenuous person. I know he's an honest guy, but maybe the club just changed their mind or something. Or exactly what Jess said at the start of the stream, which is they're actually just waiting till the summer now. There's no other explanation. So
it's PR. This Arsenal thing is PR. And Arteta calling them out. I said that, and people said, put your tin hat foil or tin foil hat or tin foil hat.
Oh God, go pull Alex Jones.
I said that Arteta calling out the owners and the board, and them knowing that he's gonna call them out. They are trying to get the fans off his shoulder because they are the owners. The fans can cuss us out all day. Who cares? But as long as the fans are behind Arteta and the team and they think Arteta is a victim, we'll get the merchandise. We'll go to the stadium. We'll cheer for them. Go ahead. I'm going to finish in 1 minute. And I said, people said, you really believe that? I truly believe this, by the way, that Arteta will never call out these owners unless they know that he's calling them out and they agree to it.
That was absolutely correct.
This whole notion that Arteta's against the owners, they will sack him if he's against them. They're going to sack him. That's my opinion about this. And then people said, oh my God, you have conspiracy theory. Yes, I do. And it's the most believable one. Not after 5 years now, he's going to criticize them. Anyway, it is what it is. And
For sure.
it is what it is. Listen, guys, he knows Arsenal. What is your reaction?
What's it called? Five, and then so six.
6 UK time.
Yeah.
6 UK time. She knows Arsenal. Listen, this is gonna take it to Husam. He's gonna start his stream. I think he started his stream. It's live now. Go and check him out. Him, LB, Ash, and the Nottingham Forest guy that I don't know his name. Big up, Kelk.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you for being here after the 5-1. And we'll see you all soon.
Yes.
And we're out of here, people.